Hello, everyone. Today, what I want to do is share a little bit about how this is a sentence that I used in a talk recently, and people really took to it. So I decided, well, let's just do a little caption of this on our Friday night Insights program. So this is going to be called "Using Gifts to Meet Challenges." I guess for a lot of people, it was a really major insight to realize it. Wow, I can actually defeat some of my own challenges with my gifts, of course. We always have, and you've heard it said, we always have what we need to deal with life's issues. But a lot of people think that means only our skills. Don't forget, the first and foremost thing that we always have to deal with our life's issues is the presence of God when we call on it. But yes, also your gifts. And God too will use your gifts to help you, maneuver this world. Each of us has gifts and challenges in this world. The proportion of how much gifts, how many gifts, and what, quantity and sort of intensity of gifts and challenges, that varies depending on our life lessons and our path. But people just don't realize that we can actually use the gifts to deal with the challenges. You have the tools within you. First and foremost, the tool of prayer and God's presence. But then there's also your own inner work and external actions. So there's things I can do with God spiritually. There's things I can do within myself. And then there are actions I can take on the outside world, all related to my gifts. One gift I have is my ability to commune with God, get new insights, get new inspirations on how to deal with a challenge, for example. Then there's my inner work, like dismantling issues, tracking and seeing what this is about, what I can do to change it within my being, my belief systems. Then there's also things on the outside sometimes to kind of, move things around and kind of, don't become a captor, of stuff of life, not a prisoner. Instead, choose freedom and choosing to say, what can I do to break these chains? What can I do to break free? Are there things I can do, actions I can take instead of remaining captive to somebody's stuff, my own included, belief systems, patterns, karma even, soul contracts. None of them have a greater power than our free will, but we just don't exercise that free will the way we could. So step out of it all and say, okay, you know what? What gifts do I have? Use them. The first things to do, really, discover what gifts you do have that you're not aware of. But then, and that takes getting to know yourself. But then there's also, in a sense, there's gifts that I have, maybe I've used now and then, but not enough. Then there's gifts I get to create newly, like new awareness of gifts or developing new gifts. So sort of like using gifts from the past and yet gifts that I'm developing in the present. And it changes my future. So find new gifts, that need accessed and developed, fine-tuned, worked into, a developed gift, a developed treasure, really. Think about that. Take time to get to know your gifts and challenges. If you don't want to know your challenges, that I'm already intimidated by those. If you don't know your challenges, how can you use your gifts to deal with them? Because they're already there. You want to do something with them, don't you? Then also take time to ask yourself, how can my gifts be utilized in whatever circumstances I might find myself? For example, if you have a challenge with speaking in public, like let's say to a group of colleagues at work, and then you find, but one of my gifts is a nurturer. I don't know how my gift could deal with that challenge of being afraid to speak in a meeting at work. Maybe you would start the meeting with telling each person what you appreciate about them. That's the nurturer. And all of a sudden it bridges, bonds, and creates an easier time talking. You may not have thought of that. What if you have a landscaping company, but you have a bad back and you can't do well actually working out in the yards? Maybe you're just going to use your gift of creativity to put yourself in a management position and design landscapes. There's always a way. I love doing landscaping, but I can't. Yes, you can. Use your gifts and figure it out. If one of your gifts is being tenacious, that you really have that like stubborn streak, that you love to finish things. You really have a lot of core, groundedness, ability to get things done that you start. It's a great gift to have. But if you're dealing in your personal life, let's say prolonging medical tests, well, what do I do with that? What does tenaciousness have to do? Well, you could, just not only apply it in some way or another, but literally write a list of things, medical tests, whatever you're supposed to get done, and then make them on a list, because that helps you ground it, and see it as a challenge, because that's going to get the tenacious part of you to kick in. The one that goes, wait a minute, we're not going to have any challenges that are unmet. That part of you that's got fire, get it to apply to that thing. But writing it and thinking about it as a challenge to accomplish might end up being how you kick in tenaciousness, your gift of tenaciousness, stick-to-itiveness. It's beautiful. Now you got that, handled. Then you go, once you get that, you go, thank you. Don't forget to say thank you when you get these things, when you see how you can apply them and then do so. Thank you that I now see it. Thank you that I now applied it. Thank you that it worked to any degree, because when I get it, it'll go to another level, a whole new level. So, it's sometimes you have to, what we call MacGyver. Remember, people use that phrase, I'm going to MacGyver that. It means I'm going to grab whatever tools I have. Oh, look, I'm stuck inside of a vault and I'm, 100 feet underwater, MacGyver, the TV show. I guess what was that in the 80s, 90s? And MacGyver's like, okay, well, let's see. All we have is a battery, bubble gum, and a pen. And next thing you know, oh, that's right. The chemicals in this particular kind of gum can make a battery into a electrical device that'll somehow, stick to the back of the dial on the safe, and it'll make it, it'll kill it and open the vault. And then I've got this pen. I'm going to hollow it out and use it as a, little scuba diving tube. I mean, he just comes up with these bizarre things. But that's you and me. We've got to have the ingenuity to say, what in me? Picture everything's a puzzle. And when you're having challenges, the way Spirit can see this, the Divine Mother, the Holy Spirit of God can see this is, come on, honey, you have what you need. And we're like, no, I just tend to give up all the time when it's not just totally my way. There's a way to do it. There's spiritual insights. There's mental ingenuity. There's physical prowess of different kinds, tactics or whatever it happens to be on the outside. So everything's doable, but just, people have too little faith in themselves, but also they're not taught that. People are not taught to work this through. Use your mind, your spirit, your mind, the ability to choose spiritually, the ability to focus your mind, and then the ability to get your hands in and work it. Do the thing. Don't sit back and just pray it that somebody else is going to do it. As they say, pray and move your feet. Get in there. Get something, happening. So how can my gifts be utilized in a way that's going to change my life? I think it's beautiful. The point is to use this concept as another way and another reason to get to know yourself. If nothing else, and there is a lot more you get from it, but if nothing else, if all you get is knowing yourself more, because you take time to know your challenges and your gifts, using then your gifts to defeat challenges, if nothing else, oh my God, to have gotten to know myself more, that in itself is more than enough, but it does more for us. There is more, and that is, not only am I getting to know myself, I'm applying my divine self in a world that doesn't sometimes feel divine, and it turns it more divine because I'm anchoring more light, more skill, more trust, more inspiration. We're co-creators, we're gods and goddesses, and the world is what we make of it. So to make something right of it, it's worth it, in my opinion. Another point to all this is, to refuse to simply have gifts and challenges, but not allow one to deal with the other. Just to sit there and go, well, I'm more aware of myself. Now that I've done a certain workshop, I now know more about my gifts and challenges. That's knowing yourself. That's a great step. But are you willing to go, and what do I do with that? That's taking it to another level. And then, like I said, giving thanks is, essential. So as I'm coming to a close, I'm going to also add that, in shamanism, there's this concept of an upper world, which is sort of your future, the middle world, which is your current life, and the lower world, which is your past. And in shamanism, when you journey to the different worlds, even the underworld, the dark recesses of your past, unhealed stuff, you're still in journeying, in shamanistic journeying, you're still encouraged to find a gift inside there that'll help you deal with that other stuff of that realm. You're still asked to find gifts in the journeying in any of these three realms, because it'll improve your life by using the gift or gifts to sort of dismantle any of the challenges you meet in these worlds. And the journeying you do in the upper world really is not only about dealing with challenges like in the underworld, where you have gifts that you meet, but it's about now you've done your work on the inside. We're going to go and do work on the outside by helping you visualize achieving a gift from spirit that's going to launch you into a better future in your life. So think about that. Ancient cultures, in a way, practicing the same tradition or exercise that I was just advising. What are your gifts? What are your challenges? Great. Now you know yourself more. Now, next, what are you doing about it? Do that and give thanks. It's another way of describing mastery. It's another way of describing ancient cultures, because we work that into this. It's another way of describing self-help, self-improvement or self-help programs. Don't accept loss and defeat. MacGyver it. We could maybe title this MacGyver it. No, we don't want to do that, but it's true. You're MacGyvering things. You're using ingenuity that you have, and you do have it. How much, what direction, what quality, what style, what expressions varies per person based on what we've already put ourselves to nurture it. If I've chosen not to nurture it, I probably have very little confidence in it because I haven't nurtured it. So get to it and work it. Why would you expect a muscle you never use to be toned? It doesn't make sense. So you tone that muscle. Might take you a while, but look how many scrawny and insecure people, Schwarzenegger and The Rock and, all these people, Lou Ferrigno. These are people that started off with goofy kind of lives, and they were considered nerdy, and they worked things, literally muscles. They worked so that they can say, you know what? No more. No more am I teased at being scrawny or whatever it happened to be. I made myself into something. That's a very literal version, but it's like that. Don't tolerate challenges get the best of me, and that's all I know. Step up. It's God's will that I nurture these gifts. And again, it goes back to where we started a while ago, that I'm never given something that, a challenge that I'm not able to defeat. But to defeat it, don't go into the little I that's going to do it, the greater I am of God. Do these things with God. Ingenuity comes in, inspirations come in spontaneously. Sometimes just feelings of comfort is all I needed. That was the gift today, is how to calm. I have a gift of loving meditation, but I have stressful things at work. Use the meditation to calm and chill, and you might get greater insights on how to deal with those things at work. All right. All righty, guys. Well, God bless. Thank you for joining us for this brief program. We try to keep these Friday nights to about 30 minutes when we can, sometimes a little less, but I'm doing my best to keep them to that time frame. For longer and just broader topics, we do those on Sundays. Those are more like 30, 45-minute talks. So I keep these a little shorter nowadays. But anyway, God bless you all and thank you. Remember, you can join us in any of these. Most everything I do is free, but we greatly appreciate your donations. Also, keep in mind, we have things online available to you in social media. You can join my Friends of Michael Mirdad Facebook group. That's a private group, but it's wonderful. We in there I share. I do live videos for that group only, exclusively for them, or videos, and we have chit chat with each other, problem solving, sharing insights, and just beautiful things with each other. You're welcome to check that out. We also have a group called Edenshire live on Zoom, and that's 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. That's also free. Occasionally, I suggest donations to some of the guest hosts we have, but that's not a mandatory thing. So Sunday, donation only. Monday through Thursday, donations only. Friday, donation only. So just about everything's donation basis. But I do have workshops that I do once in a while, on average once a month, that we charge a fee for. People are welcome to get into that. If you're looking for anything else, private sessions, materials, books, lots of free articles and videos all over the place, but my website included. But on my website, I also have books that are available in case you'd like to check one of those out. Books and DVDs and CDs. So they're a little bit of products. I've written about 10 books, and people tend to like them. So if you're interested, you're welcome to check those out. One way or another, God bless you, and God bless your life with love, peace, joy, and abundance. Thank you. Peace be with you all. Bye-bye.